Hello and welcome to this video. QuickBooks and all cloud-based solutions, in fact pretty much everything that we do now when it comes to working, revolves around the internet. Now the internet gives us many benefits, including the opportunity for us to be able to interact with other people from remote locations, collaborate, put data into sophisticated software like QuickBooks Online. But it does rely on having a stable internet connection. And from time to time, and I bet for some of you out there more frequently than you like, that internet connection is going to go down. So how do you keep yourself productive? How do you keep yourself going? How do you keep yourself actually be able to do that crucial work that you need to do? Well, here are some 5 tips for you to go through to make sure that you have everything you need to keep yourself doing that work. Stay tuned.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, when it's dark. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me.
Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Patrick. I'm a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks chap on the internet, and also head of accounts here at Boffix. Now this video is pretty straightforward. The idea that we need to make sure that we need to have constant internet connection to be able to get your work done. Well, I've got 5 handy tips for you to make sure that that is something that we can keep doing. Let's go for tip number 1. Now, tip number 1 is definitely a temporary solution, but it's a solution that I use every now and again, especially if I'm out and about and I need to get some work done quick and easy. And that's making sure that you know how to tether your internet from your mobile phone. Now, you need to be very careful about this. First of all, you need to make sure that whatever device you're using, so whatever computer you're using and phone you're using, are compatible with one another. And then you need to make sure that the way that it tethers is going to be sustainable enough for you to be able to get that work done. Now, in the Apple ecosystem, it couldn't be easier. I literally go to my Apple device, I go click on the internet, Wi-Fi settings, I go and I can select my phone directly from there. Them two will talk to one another, I can start my internet connection, and I can get the work done as I need to. Doesn't matter how easy it is, but you need to be aware of the pitfalls that you could get from using this solution. First of all, your internet connection will only be as good as this connection that's already on this mobile device. So you need to be able to make sure that it's in a good location. If you're moving, so say on a train or something, you can expect that you're going to have dips and performance issues as you're moving along. But ultimately, you need to make sure that you're aware that however good this device is going to be the internet that's on your other device. And secondly, the most crucial bit to be aware of is about data and the amount of data that could use. You have to be very aware of what you're doing with your other device. So on your laptop or whatever it's going to be, you need to be 100% aware of what it's doing. If it's downloading a massive file, then you're going to be eating through that data at an alarming rate. So you want to be making sure you're in control of what that's doing, when it's doing it, so that you can limit the amount of data that's being consumed. Because for most of us, the data that we get from our mobile phone, when you tether, is going to be on a separate allowance. And normally that allowance isn't going to be too high. In fact, during my time, I've only ever had that allowance to be unlimited once, and they took that off me pretty promptly. So to avoid unnecessary costs, or to run out of allowance completely and then leaving you with no option but to be able to connect to the internet, then you just need to be very aware of what allowance you have and how much you're using at any point. But at any time, especially if you're at home and the internet goes down and you need to get something done quick and simply, this is a solution that can't be ignored. Solution number 2 is upgrading that solution to a dedicated 4G or 5G in this case box. Now the idea of having a dedicated system is twofold. First of all, it means that you don't have to rely on the mobile phone itself to be working and using its own data. It's just going to have a dedicated solution to the internet that you need. And also it gives you a lot more flexibility of how you connect that data. You see on here I have Ethernet cables that I can plug directly into whatever device I need to. I can run my whole house off this if needed. And also I have the option for an external antenna as well. So this being pretty beefy as it is, it's going to get a much better signal than your standard mobile anyway. But if I couple that with an external antenna, I should be able to get the best available 4G, 5G signal in my area. 4G, 5G signals, there's a bit of a science behind it. You have to be making sure you're pointing towards the antenna. There's a whole raft of ways in which, but if you get it right, you can get some incredible speeds. And also being a dedicated device on its own dedicated SIM, there are options out there to actually go unlimited, which is what I've got here. Now, I primarily use this if I'm having to go out and about and train in QuickBooks, because I can take this device wherever I want to, put it in the middle of the room, and multiple people can then connect to the device and be able to do the training. This becomes an invaluable tool, but it also becomes an invaluable tool if we're in a position where we actually don't have internet at home. If ever I need a backup solution, it's the first thing I would jump to, get this bad boy set up, and I'm good to go. And because I was able to achieve an unlimited package on this, I'm not worried about how much data it's consuming. As good as that solution is, that's A, an additional cost, B, something you'd have to set up so it's not seamlessly going to switch between your stable internet connection that you normally rely on to that actual 4G backup solution, and C, for the less technical minded, that's going to cause an issue. So what solutions can we have that will give you the best of both worlds without having to be overly complicated? That's why you need to talk to your internet provider. For example, I'm with both Virgin and BT, I'll talk more about that in a moment, but for both of those solutions they come with what's called 4G Assure. Now 4G Assure is basically the same idea of having a mobile phone device and having your standard internet, but the fact is that they go through the same solution. So if your main internet falls over, causes yourself issues, then this 4G Assure will kick in automatically and start powering the internet for the whole home or office. So you're always going to have constant connection. Now the downside to this is that the 4G Assure or 5G Assure is only going to be a very small device that is actually going to go next to your ISP's router. And what that means is it's probably or may not be in the most ideal situation or location to get the best 4G signal. It certainly works, and it's certainly a better solution for something that you just need to fail over. So you don't even need to worry about it. You know that if that internet falls over, it will flip over to the 4G Assure service and you'll have no problems whatsoever. To me, that's a great compromise and a great solution. Just remember that when you're on that 4G Assure, you may have much lower speeds depending on where that location is. And also remember that the service provider will throttle that amount of data that goes through that, throttle the speed of that to try and match what your position of what you already have. So it's not an ideal solution at all, but it is a solution that works really, really well. And especially for something like QuickBooks Online, it works absolutely wonders. As soon as my main internet falls over, we switch over to 4G. Yes, it's a little bit slower. Yes, it's not as fast and as quick as my normal internet, but it's definitely a much better experience than having no internet whatsoever. And because it's connected directly to my normal home network, I don't need to tell devices to move over to there. I don't need to push that. In fact, everything in my whole home office will continue to get internet via Ethernet or via Wi-Fi, and it will just continue seamlessly. Again, just at a much slower proportion. My main advice on this one is if you do fall over to that 4G Assure, start turning off all the non-essentials. Consider if you need to have that webcam on, consider if you need to have that TV connected to the internet. Start just trying to pare back what items are talking to the internet so you get the most speeds available for what you need it for, which will probably be work. Option number 4 is to combine this solution directly into your home network on a failover solution. Now for this does require additional hardware, and what you need is a router with 2 WAN ports. WAN stands for wide area network, so basically the internet. And the idea here is the router sits before your main home network. Your ISP router will go into one WAN port, your beefed up 4G connection will go into the other WAN port, and it will do exactly what we've just talked about, that 4G failover solution. The idea being that the 2 internet providers will go in and then it will go from there. You can actually use this as not only just as a failover solution, so you're always connected to the internet, but also as a way where you can actually decide that certain solutions, certain services, certain connections on your home network or office network will go through the 4G solution, whereas the other will go through your main connection. You can really get technical and achieve a lot of advanced functionality by using this solution. The problem being that it's actually really, really costly. In fact, it's so costly that the hardware itself, you need to get dedicated hardware. This solution is really designed for enterprise grade software. But if it's something that's really valuable to your business, then it can be a great return on investment. And we found plenty of clients out there and businesses out there where actually this solution has been ideal for them. It's more than paid for it by not having that downtime when the internet's go down. And number 5, by far the best solution that you can have, but it isn't going to be ideal for you, is have 2 internet connections. making sure they're on two independent networks. So if you've got a fibre solution going through, say, Virgin Media, for example, and a fibre solution going through BT, them two on separate networks, you should find that both of them will be able to maintain uptime. Now, both of these can either go into the same building, or as I have it, I have a different internet provider for my home office and a different internet provider for our actual office, which means that for a short drive between the two, I know I can go to a position or a place where I'm always going to have internet. Because if one internet provider is having issues, very unlikely that the other one is as well. And if not, I have a 4G solution on both of those, have 4G assured as well, so that we can make sure that we have the best solution. Again, not the most cost-effective way of doing it, but to maintain 100% uptime and maintain that we've always got that opportunity to work and help our clients is a solution that we find is the best way. So, what do you think? 5 practical ways in which you can make sure you have the opportunity to keep uptime 24/7. Relatively cost-effective way of just using your mobile phone to be able to get yourself onto the internet, all the way to the absurd of having 2 different internets going to 2 different sites. There are definitely ways in which you can keep that uptime going. And it can get further than that. We've seen examples with our clients where not only do they have 2 different sites having 2 different internets, but they even have a line of sight between the 2 of them, so they're able to wirelessly pass the internet to each site. Therefore, if one goes down, the other one can get backed up as well. Depending on your budget, there's always going to be a solution for you. I find the most cost-effective and valuable way of doing it is going to be getting yourself one of these sort of solutions, getting yourself a backup 4G, 5G hub. That way you're going to be able to use this if you're out and about anyway, so it's a dual purpose. And when you are home and you do need that extra internet, you can get this set up in a jiffy. Talk to your internet provider about 4G Assure as a way of just having that simple backup solution that will work if needed, and then you should have no issues whatsoever. They're my top tips. Let me know below how you're dealing with having internet on a 24-hour basis, because we all know how important it is to our businesses. So let's tell everyone else, let's get a conversation going about making sure that we're all making the most out of our internet connections and not suffering from outages. My name's been Patrick, a bit of a different video for us on this channel today, but hopefully you can see that this is all about making sure that your small business has all the tips, tricks and everything in between to make sure that it doesn't just survive, but thrives. My name's been Patrick, it's been an absolute pleasure as always to do this video for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, when it's dark. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter, I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. All the way that I feel, yeah, I know that it's real, cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new. Even if we stay in bed, my heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him, nah, 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 nah. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah.
Hello and thank you for watching that video. What you may not know is this channel that you've watched this video from is part of a wider group. That wider group is called Apple Core Production, and the 3 channels that we have involved are as follows: Aaron Patrick the QuickBooks Chat, Boffix Tax Tip. Finally, we have Apple Core Live and Geeky. All the links and everything are down below in the description, but it really means a lot to us if you can go and give a like to the other channels as well.